From the streets of LA to the halls of Facebook, David Choe's journey is anything but ordinary. The 47-year-old artist has made a name for himself with his raw, unapologetic style that pushes boundaries and challenges conventions. Born to Korean immigrants, Choe dropped out of high school and found himself homeless and hitchhiking across the country. But it was through art that he found his voice and his purpose. Armed with spray paint and a fearless attitude, he started tagging walls and creating guerrilla-style murals that caught the eye of the art world. Fast forward to today, Choe's work has been exhibited in galleries and museums around the globe, fetching millions at auction. But perhaps his most famous or infamous stroke of luck came when he took stock instead of cash for painting murals at Facebook's first office. That gamble would go on to make him one of the richest living artists. Love him or hate him, there's no denying that David Choe is a true original, a creative force who refuses to play by the rules. Choe's artistic talents were evident from a very young age, as he had a natural gift for drawing. Despite that, his journey into the art world was far from conventional, to say the least. He grappled with a troubled adolescence, including brushes with the law and bouts of homelessness, which profoundly shaped his worldview and artistic expression. Choe's breakthrough came in the late 1990s when he began gaining recognition for his distinctive graffiti art on the streets of Los Angeles. His work, characterized by bold colors, intricate details, and a raw, unapologetic energy, quickly garnered attention and admiration. However, it was his unorthodox approach to art that truly set him apart. Choe embraced risk-taking and spontaneity, often incorporating unconventional materials and techniques into his work. He experimented with everything from spray paint and acrylics to blood and bodily fluids, pushing the boundaries of artistic expression and challenging societal norms. Early and often, he would go out onto the streets of LA and tag up everything he can get his hands on. One of the things he became known for early on was painting whales all over walls. It was a basic outline, often accompanying phrases. He traveled frequently at a young age, as he took a cross-country trip in an RV with some friends and decided then and there that's what he wanted to do with his life: travel across the world and see everything it has to offer. This journey led him to the streets of Europe, to as far as the jungles of Congo, hitchhiking rides and sleeping wherever he could. Choe would begin submitting his illustrations to various companies like Rolling Stone, Time Magazine, and Newsweek, hoping someone would pay him for his work, but would ultimately get rejected. At the time, he was also reading a lot of magazines, and he noticed that they used a ton of illustrations as well. He reached out to Hustler magazine and submitted his work, to which they called him back and said they loved it. In 1996, Choe self-published a graphic novel titled Slow Jams, which he made about 200 copies of and gave away at Comic-Con. He went to numerous publishers with the comic but drew no interest. A few years later, in 1999, he submitted the book for the Degenerate grant and was awarded $5,000 to publish the second, where he made about $1,000 selling them for $4 a pop. After years of gaining no interest, Marvel Comics reached out to him, and this is where he met one of his idols, Jim Lee, who was an artist for Marvel Comics and is currently the chief creative officer for DC Comics. They greenlit the project, where Choe would create illustrations with X-Men characters doing R-rated stuff, essentially, but then got canceled without letting him know. Choe, upset, wrote a profanity-laced letter to the president of Marvel, and it went crazy on the internet as he received a ton of backlash amongst the comic book community. Around 2003, Choe would make his way to Japan to do art shows. While there, he would steal people's bikes and ride around town tagging up the city. One day he was in a convenience store and was about to steal a few items, but last minute decided not to and put them down. But it was too late, as an undercover police officer saw him in the act. Choe would punch the cop in the face and booked it. The officer pursued him until Choe was eventually caught by other officers. He would get arrested and put into jail.
David was invited to Tokyo to create a mural and participate in a group art show. While there, he had a life-changing run-in with the law.
I was running around doing all my shopping, and I guess the undercover security guard had thought I had taken something, when in fact I just left it in the store and I left. And because of translation and misunderstandings, he approached me in a very rough manner. He slapped me upside my head, and he was grabbing my bag of stuff that I had bought, and I was like, is this guy really trying to mug me in front of all these people? I was like, all right, man, let go of my bag, and he didn't do it. His glasses broke, cut his face, his nose broke, and he hit the wall on the way down. And then I just took off running. I was scared, I didn't know what to do. And then just leave it alone for a while, and then go out and do something else.
David was arrested and thrown into jail. As he awaited trial on assault and battery charges, he was put into solitary confinement.
He was put into solitary confinement for a brief period, and while there, he was allowed to have a few notebooks. In those notebooks, he started drawing all of his meals. His career really took off after getting out of jail. He started off by designing the commercials for the video game Need for Speed Underground 2. From there, he designed an ad for Converse and then designed the album cover for Jay-Z and Linkin Park's Collision Course. A lot of his paintings he did while in jail started gaining attention as well. People were fascinated by his creativity as he used soy sauce and urine for most of these paintings. One of the defining moments of Choe's career came in 2005 when he was commissioned by Facebook's founding president, Sean Parker, who was a fan of his work, to paint murals at the company's headquarters. He was offered one of two choices. He could either take a one-time check of $60,000 in cash or receive 0.25% of company stock. An avid gambler, Choe chose the latter, a decision that would become incredibly lucrative. When Facebook went public in 2012, Choe's shares were valued at over $200 million, instantly making him one of the wealthiest artists in the world.
Everyone was on MySpace. Everyone was like, Facebook was like this, it wasn't a joke, but it was like this niche social media for college students. And Sean Parker
with the Napster guy.
Yeah, Sean Parker, I had met him right after the Napster thing when they were trying to get sued for $1 trillion. He just was a fan of my art. I had just gotten out of prison in Japan and I owed everyone money. He was like, hey, Dave Choe, I told you one day I'm gonna get a painting from you. We got funding from Peter at PayPal. Like, he's like, so what are you charging now? And I'm like, what do you want me to paint? He's like, I want you to paint a mural on every single floor. And I was like, that's like multiple. So I said 60 grand. And he's like, okay. And he's like, all right, cool, we can get you that. And because I'm a gambler, he goes, or you could take stock. People are like, oh, he's so lucky, but it's because I was a degenerate.
During the 2010s is when he began to expand his online presence by making frequent appearances on Vice for an online series called Thumbs Up, which had 3 seasons in total. Choe and Harry Kim were filmed hitchhiking and freight hopping from LA to Miami and Tijuana to Alaska, and then from Beijing to Shenzhen. In 2013, Choe made his first of many appearances on the Joe Rogan Experience and also started a lifestyle and entertainment podcast with adult film star Asa Akira titled DVD ASA. He also made an appearance on Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown on season 1, episode 2, Koreatown. Fast forward to 2021, he would create and release The Choe Show, aired on FX, where he essentially takes the audience on a shared emotional experience, painting portraits both literally and figuratively. In 2023, he starred in the show Beef, starring as Isaac Choe, a sociopathic fun personality who jokes around a lot and isn't afraid to break the law. One thing becomes abundantly clear in regards to Choe. His story is as enigmatic and captivating as the vibrant colors splashed across his canvases. From his humble beginnings as a street artist to his rise to international acclaim, Choe's unapologetic approach to creativity has left an indelible mark on the art world. Through interviews with friends, collaborators, and Choe himself, we've glimpsed the complexities of his personality, the demons he's battled, and the triumphs he's celebrated. From the streets of LA to the galleries of New York, from the heights of success to the depths of uncertainty, Choe's journey is a testament to the power of art to transform lives and defy expectations.